So here's a heavy question. Is religion bad? I would like to emphasize that I am not arguing that all religion is bad. However, most major religions across the globe are deeply rooted in patriarchy, which has justified wars, abuse, and subjugation in its quest for dominance. But there is a better, more egalitarian way to live and believe in a higher power. Later on in this book of mine, I will share an interview with Reverend Carol Carnes, a reverend who advocates equality in the religious hierarchy and the reformist trends we are seeing among spiritual communities led by those who wish to move away from patriarchal-dominated religious institutions toward a more balanced egalitarian means of spiritual expression and religious community. What I do hope I accomplish in this first chapter of my book, We Aren't Going Back, is providing you with important religious history so you can see how religious beliefs have deeply intermingled with the social mores of our secular culture and how it has placed women in second-class citizen status. This lesson allows us to decide if remaining in a subservient position is what we, as women, wish to maintain or change. Now, here's a summary of Chapter 1, where I study in depth Merlin Stone's book, When God Was a Woman. And she really does an exceptional job of explaining the following key points. So, point number 1, the earliest religions of humanity were centered around goddess worship, and the female deity was the primary symbol of creation, fertility, and abundance. Number 2, patriarchal societies gradually emerged due to social, economic, and political changes leading to the suppression and eventual demonization of the feminine divine. 3, the myth of the male god conquering and subduing the female goddess reflects the historical reality of male-dominated societies replacing matriarchal ones. 4, the suppression of goddess worship had a profound impact on the status of women in society, leading to the devaluation and oppression of their roles and contributions. And 5, the book argues for reevaluating and rediscovering the female divine as an essential part of humanity's spiritual heritage and a source of empowerment and healing for women and men alike. So those are the 5 major points. The patriarchal notions persist because conservative, male-dominated Christianity runs so deeply in American culture, which is supposed to have a separation of church and state. But as fewer people are interested in worshiping at Christian churches, non-believers, progressive, and independent-minded Christians take the Bible's strict teachings less seriously. Of course, churches are tax-exempt businesses, and to stay in business, their business model requires the lead generation pipeline to remain filled constantly. Therefore, when churches cannot recruit new members as easily as before, they have a choice: change their dogma to reflect more equitable and more humane modern values, or make a conservative push to return to the good old days. But who benefits the most from the return of the good old days where women served men and assumed the role of a second-class citizen? The patriarchy, naturally. Now that we've examined closely how male deity religions have shaped women's social progress and social status over the past several thousand years, right up to modern times, let's continue analyzing the status of women featured in the following pages throughout the timeline of 1841 to 2023. What pages are we talking about? This book. We just covered Chapter 1. This video has been a summary of that, but I invite you to join me on this journey of connecting the dots and learning about the history of women's social progress, primarily the United States, over 200 years. It is so eye-opening, and once you take the blinders off, you won't be able to unsee all the injustices. All right, see you in the next chapter in the next video.